Hi everyone, Leonie from McGrath here. Welcome to our third video in a short series we've organised on the regulation changes for rental properties in Victoria. The new changes are coming into effect from March 29, which is quite soon now. At the same time, the COVID moratorium laws will be revoked. So if you'd like to check out the previous videos, please feel free to check them out. So far I've touched on minimum standards for rental properties, safety checks that are involved, the modifications that tenants can make both with and without consent, as well as the disclosure of information to tenants through the lease process. This week I'd like to focus on notice to vacates and terminating tenancies. So there have been a few changes to what notice to vacates are available for owners to use to evict tenants if needed. The 120-day no reason notice has been completely abolished, which means it is now a requirement to have a reason to evict a tenant. So obviously there's multiple reasons that you can evict a tenant. The most common ones obviously are selling, landlord moving in or family moving in, or renovations. There's been no change to those notices, they're 60-day notices. However, it is worth noticing with renovations, the level of renovation required to use that notice is such that the tenant can't live throughout the work being undertaken. So recarpeting and repainting is probably not sufficient anymore, or they're talking more major renovations. So things like bathroom renovations and kitchen renovations where cooking and washing facilities are unavailable for the tenants to use for the duration of the work. So just keep that in mind. The 90-day end of fixed term notice is still available. However, it's only applicable on the first tenancy. So if your tenant renews their lease, that 90-day notice is no longer valid. With arrears, you are still able to evict tenants for arrears. Obviously, that's a breach of contract completely. We all know tenants have a tendency, or can have a tendency, not every tenant, because it is a small majority that go into arrears. They can pay rent right when you're sort of at the moment of eviction. There hasn't been, it used to be that if a tenant went into arrears, you'd issue notice to vacate. If they paid it off, you'd have to start the whole process again. So what they've changed now is that there's now a 5-strike policy. So if in the duration of a calendar year, the tenant goes into arrears more than 5 times, on the 5th time, you can actually apply directly to vacate. You no longer have to issue a notice to vacate, you just jump straight to the VCAT process. So look, I understand that all of this is a little confusing, and your property managers are available to talk you through any steps, which we do anyway. Obviously, if any of your tenants are looking either in arrears, we obviously talk you through all those processes, or if you're looking to move into the property for any reason, we'll talk you through all those steps so you're clear around what your obligations are and what the notice timeframes are to evict tenants moving forwards. I'll be back next week. There are just a few little minor things, I guess, that in the changes. I'll touch on those, but in the meantime, check out the other videos on Facebook, or if you'd like more information, Consumer Affairs have released a summary of their own of the consumer law changes. Their website is cav.vic.gov.au, so CAV, CAV, Consumer Affairs Victoria. Well worth reading to do your own research. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next week.